Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Blading Culture Podcast. My name's Eric. Today, I'm not entirely sure what we're going to be talking about. I figured today we'd kind of go over some of the things that have been happening, some of the new additions to Blading Culture Podcast and what's coming up, I guess. So a couple of things. I got new skates. I've been really enjoying them. If you've not checked out the vlogcast, you can do so. There'll be a link in the description below. I did want to do a podcast about my them skates, and I'm going to touch on them a little bit today. But check out the vlogcast. Honestly, it's about 10 minutes long, something like that, and there's a few clips in there as well. We've actually got a couple more episodes, and all of the podcasts that are, I guess, relevant and I thought were worth it. You know, there's a few episodes on the SoundCloud and on the iTunes that aren't on the YouTube, but generally speaking, you can now listen to the podcast on YouTube. I actually won't be publishing them on YouTube as and when I post them on SoundCloud because it's a big job. I got to make another video, do you know what I mean? I have been trying to get a few of them up today because a few people have been asking for some kind of YouTube edition as well. I don't like using YouTube for podcasts, but with using it for the vlogcasts or the video logs, it made sense to try and put a few on there as well and see how they go. But it will be a side project of the podcast. I'm really happy with SoundCloud as my platform of choice. I like the fact that it has iTunes integration with no need for clicking any buttons. It's all automatic, and I like that. That does cover everyone. If you're on an iPhone, you can actually just use the Podcasts app to listen to our podcast. If you're on an Android phone, you can actually just download the SoundCloud app, sign up, subscribe, and you'll get access to all of them. And if that all fails, some of them will be on the YouTube. And YouTube's pretty much a universal platform on any device. You can use the website to view the videos and listen to the podcast too. Whether they'll stay on there, I don't know. I know that there are some issues with uploading audio only. I know that for today's mission, I had to make video I had to wrap the audio files into a video container file, so they became MP4s instead of WAVs, and that allowed me to upload to YouTube. But I know that YouTube are a bit funny about still images and audio, but we'll see how it goes. I notice a lot of YouTubers who do use the platform to make podcasts, they have like moving images and videos in the video, which allows them to host them there without them getting picked up by algorithms, I guess. So we'll again play it by ear with the YouTube. But again, if you can't use iTunes podcasts or the SoundCloud app, there are other options. There's a couple of websites that you can go to, and I'll leave them in the description below. Because they're not things like Stitcher. There's a weird one and then another one. But honestly, I personally think if you're at a computer, just soundcloud.com/Blading Culture Podcast. The SoundCloud website is great. They do have some ads for non-pro users, but it's nothing that you'll ever notice, I think, on our channel because we're pro. So, if you start listening to other people's music and you've not got a pro account, there might be issues there, I don't know. But from what I understand, I've listened to all of our podcasts in a private window and didn't hear any adverts. So there's always that as an option if you want to listen to the episodes. But yeah, it's worth mentioning it's now on the YouTube. We don't have a YouTube address. It'll be in the link below, but we don't have an address because you need 100 subscribers to get youtube.com/Blading Culture Podcast, which is frustrating, but I understand why they do it. So if you want to help me out, so you can, if you want to help me with the brand, get me that channel name. Just click subscribe. Every subscription is great, and every like is great. It's a really good place for you to leave feedback about the podcast as well. Any content on there that frustrates you or you don't like, or if you have some criticisms about, well, any aspect of Blading Culture Podcast, you can leave a comment on the YouTube. You can leave a comment on the SoundCloud. You can leave a comment on our Instagram or our Facebook. Do you know what I mean? So we're pretty well established now. I'm pretty happy with where we are. And the Patreon is doing really well. We have 6 backers, I think, or 6 patrons. Obviously, we want to get more. If we can get more, if I can get, I think I've worked out about, if we can get 20 patrons, we can make our first hat, which I'm keen for, especially with winter being, on the horizon. I really want to get some beanies made, or a 5-panel, or something warm. We'll see. That's one of the nice things about the Patreon, is those who choose to help us out also get to help us out with those aspects of it. So we're going to be working out. We've got the poster coming. I've sent out for some samples and ordered a few extra, just because I'm pretty happy with how they look, and I'm sure they'll feel great. So we're going to get those. But merch, I just want to make something, and I want to make something with you as a group, as a community, as the Blading Culture Podcast supporters. So, but then you don't have to as well. Most of it will be run through the Facebook page or through UKBC, where you can actually have a say about all the content and the crap that I go on about. So yeah, it's been pretty busy. The video log's been great. My them skates are great. Will I stick on them? I actually think that I probably will, but I am going to look at an aftermarket liner, 100%. I'm going to look for another. The Velo liner, bloody hell! I did it on the vlog as well. The them liner is okay as far as liners go. It's a bit better than the Velo liner, but it's it's a good middle ground. It's a good stock liner for a skate, provided you fit it okay. I do, but it could be bigger. It could have more space for me. There's a lot of padding in there. So I'm going to keep my them skates. I like everything about the boot. I like the liner, but I am going to replace it. The rest of the skate is great. I'm really enjoying it. What else has been going on? I've been skating solo a lot recently, just because of everything that's been going on. So I've been skating a lot of rails with kind of the intention of getting tricks for UKBC's Trick of the Week, which is where the community of UKBC, there's quite a few members in there now, something like 2,000, maybe even more, I can't even remember, where we all get together for Trick of the Week and we all do a trick. Where this current one that we're running, which ends today, Sunday, and then we'll start a new one Monday evening / Tuesday morning, depending on how busy things get. And the community will pick a trick. We're currently on cab drivers for Rob G. Hashtag we are Rob G. And the week before we did acids. The week before I didn't partake in because I wasn't quite following it. I think it was just a trial run. But it's been great. It's been good to get everyone out. People have been actually going out and taking part and trying to get these cab drivers for Rob G. Mental. I love the rollerblading community. You guys rock, honestly. Like there are a few that are a little bit rough on the edges, but overall, rollerbladers rock. Absolutely, rollerbladers rock. Honestly, like the support for Rob G has been insane. Something like the GoFundMe page is at something like $124,000 or something now from the rollerblading community and from Rob's family and friends and the people within his network and strangers, and it's amazing to see the support for Rob G. He's a mind-blowing individual. He's on a different plane to the rest of us, I'm sure, universally above all. So it's really great to see that. The Rob G challenge by Shredpool is wicked, and now it's being adopted by UKBC for Trick of the Week. So an outpouring of support for Rob G. Honestly, an outpouring of it, and it's crazy. Really good stuff. So that's Rob G. Them skates, again, loving them. Check out the vlogcast for that. Again, link in description. My solo skates. I've been skating solo a lot. I've been going to random locations that I found through Google Maps, rails, ledges, whatever I can find, taking my camera, setting it up, pressing record, and then go and try and get some tricks on it. It's been a lot of fun, especially for Trick of the Week as well. Going out and having to do cab drivers on these things is crazy. I haven't done cab drivers in years, so it was nice to finally get some swing in my left knee again. So I've been hitting these spots, I've been doing different tricks, I've been trying new tricks, and in my them skates I'm really pumped to skate as well, because they look cool and they look different and they feel different, but they also feel very similar. So again, like I said in the video, I don't really feel like I've downgraded in any way. I definitely feel like I've upgraded from my Velos to my them skates. Definitely very cool. Roses are releasing a new skate, the Basement Skate collaboration thing. I think it's official from what I've seen. It was posted on Blade Tech, which is a sick little Instagram account. So you should check them out at Blade Tech. And they look cool. Got this mint green vibe going on the box, but it's just a black boot, white trimmings, and a very, very shiny toe cap. A strangely shiny toe cap. So they're kind of cool. They're very kind of cool. What else is coming? It's been quite quiet. There's been a lot going on, but in terms of merch and hardware and new stuff, it's been a bit quiet. We had Primary from Wheels Team. Really, really, really good video. Really fun. Really good, excited feel to it. It just felt really good. Shout out to David for putting that together. A really good effort. I was very happy with it. Very, very happy with it. It was very cool. Scott Riddles, man. Jesus Christ. So, if you've not bought Primary, go out and get Primary. I think they're running a competition right now. So, they're running a promotion where if you buy one of their new t-shirts, you also get a copy of Primary. So, it's well worth it. Honestly, guys, well worth it. Support the UK scene. Yeah. So, we set up the YouTube. Now, I was put off from it for a while. But Danny Jewell really wanted to listen to the podcasts, and he kind of thought it might be sensible to give it a go. At least give it a go, and I agree. Because there's a lot of people on YouTube, and it would be nice to be able to see if I can drive some of them to the SoundCloud, as weird as that might sound. So every video, every podcast on YouTube that's a video, you'll see there is no video. It's just our logo and then the address for the SoundCloud. Just because it is a pain to upload to YouTube as well. Like I really do value YouTube, producers like Ricardo, like putting all the effort into the YouTube, now putting all the effort into his Instagram live stuff, his Instagram TV stuff. I think he's just, as weird as this might sound, if you've listened to his Solomon episode, set up an Amazon shop to help direct some of the Amazon shoppers, I guess, to more relevant hardware. Rather than someone going onto Amazon to look for inline skates and then being directed to the worst pair of inline skates on the market, he's kind of trying to help people pick better hardware. Now, I do value his opinion on hardware. If you've listened to the Ricardo Lino show, I will leave a link in the description, actually, funnily enough. But he does talk some sense in terms of hardware. He's very on it with his hardware. He owns a shop. He owns 2. Online shop and a storefront, I think. Don't quote me on it. So he's a good guy for that kind of knowledge. So I do understand the reason for his Amazon shop front. But it kind of, in my opinion, sort of kind of goes against his argument that buying pre-owned skates and pre-owned Solomon skates specifically from other skaters and from eBay and places like that, rather than buying new skates from shops. So I agree with that aspect. I do think people should be supporting shops and doing what they can, but don't be out of pocket. Spend your money sensibly. Look at reviews. I wish there was more reviews on hardware, more reviews on wheels. If you're buying something and you skate it, leave a review for the shop, go onto the shop where you bought it and leave a review. You really do help a lot of rollerblades out. You help them spend money more sensibly. You know, spending money is important when it comes to rollerblading. I mean, I'd love to be a professional and get paid to do it. I think I'm good enough to at least do some stuff, but there are some rollerbladers who are unbelievable and still don't get paid what they should be getting paid. So help rollerbladers out. Leave some reviews on things. It's a weird way of supporting the industry, but it will work for that purpose. You know, support each other. But I definitely think that you should be buying from shops if you want the stuff that shops are selling. But if you find something and it's a deal and you enjoy that product, hell, if Solomon is the only boot that feels comfortable for you, buy them all, because sooner or later you won't have any choice in the matter, because you won't have any. So it's one of those, do you know what I mean? Like, think about it sensibly. The rollerblading economy is very delicate. It swings and roundabouts all of the time. Look, A-Mall's just closed. A-Mall. Aggressive Mall's just closed. Like, of all US shops to close, like, it's A-Mall. But in their statement, they said, I think, that business was just becoming too uncontrollable and unreliable and inconsistent, that it was becoming a burden to run, I guess. And I don't think I'd ever want that for Loco. You know, when I buy something, I usually buy it from Loco. Unless I'm buying pre-owned old skates, I buy from Loco. Sometimes Rampworx. Do you know what I mean? There are a couple of shops in the UK where you can buy some stuff. I'll leave some links in the description so that you can check those out. But there are other places to buy skates, and Amazon is one of them. So I do appreciate that Ricardo is trying to direct the traffic from Amazon to a more structured scene where he has some control over the content that displays on his storefront. So he's trying to give people choice, but from tested hardware, from good reviewed tested hardware. So yeah, each to their own. But in terms of the YouTube and Ricardo, I do appreciate it because he does do more than podcasts. I basically do podcasts, so SoundCloud is fine for me. But I'm going to give the YouTube thing a go alongside of the podcast, time permitting. You know, I want to skate more. I want to skate a lot. I've got this real drive to go rollerblading because of my them skates. They drive. You know what I mean? Everyone knows it. You're like, I guarantee, like, you're listening now thinking, I remember a time when I remember getting such and such a skate and going absolute beast because they felt amazing and because I enjoyed them and because I felt good using them. Same for my them skates. I'm really pumped to be on them. I feel good to be part of the initial phase of them skates, and I'm excited to see what he does next because I'm not sure what he can do. Maybe a pro boot. I suspect if there's anyone, it'll be a Brosco. I hope it is, and I'll be the first one to put my hands up and say that I'd milk that. John Julio, sell you anything. Alex Roscoe could sell me anything, but hasn't done because I wasn't really interested in dead wheels. That's something else. What else has been going on? Yeah, Battle My Crew, people. Battle My Crew has been going on. I've been filming a little bit for it. Pete and me have been going out trying to get some tricks, not recently, just to sort of life and whatnot, but I figured if there was ever a good time to touch on Battle My Crew, now might be it. So I love the old school Battle My Crews. Love them. But it's old school now, and rollerblading's changed a lot. So when you look back at, you know, VG19 onwards, it's very nostalgic. It brings back a memory of a scene that, although I was never part of, it was always very inspiring. It always made rollerblading look amazing. So I have a lot of interest in the old rollerblading, but only recently. It's only really developed as of the last sort of 2 years. Because back when I began rollerblading, I also wasn't watching rollerblading media. I had no access to most of it. I didn't have money to buy any of this stuff. Computers were around, but I didn't have one for most of my youth. Only sort of 3 or 4 years after starting skating did I get access to a computer. So for me, like, the old school rollerblading is a mind-boggling mess. Like, going through it and then looking at it and then looking at the way that they dress and looking at the way that they put themselves out there. It was still so underground, and just as underground as it now is, I think. But it was so different compared to what we see now. But the tricks were basically similar. Everyone seemed to skate a little bit slower. And obviously, I guess faster bearings and better wheels and better hardware have meant that rollerbladers can go faster, or maybe just rollerbladers just decided to start skating faster to stuff. But the old school rollerblading from the 90s looks very slow and a little bit sluggish. I remember seeing some, I think it was a Feinberg or a Josh Petty clip. It was this down rail. It was curved from the top of a ramp, and he did a frontside backslide down this rail. And he basically might as well have had 6 wheels in. Do you know what I mean? He was so slow grinding down this rail. Really slow, really casual, really controlled. With the grab, big baggy jeans, big baggy shirt. The scenes were so different back then that I almost don't recognize it, because the rollerblading that I grew up doing was a little bit different. We had people like Shima, and it was all street, and I didn't watch any park skating. That was not a thing that I really had any interest in until I was like 20. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was the first time that I really got into park skating, because I moved to a town where there was a park. So it was a weird thing for me to watch old rollerblading. Now, more recent but still old rollerblading are things like the VG series, you know, the later on series after Dave Payne joined. And I know that Dave Payne was only there for a short time. He was there for about 5 videos, I think, 6 videos. But he was also there for Battle My Crew. Now, Battle My Crew was Dave Payne's, I guess, prodigal son. He came in to officially run Video Groove magazine, or at least help to manage Video Groove magazine in 99, I think. And the first project that he did, the first video that he put out in that new position, was Battle My Crew 1. There was 4 Battle My Crew videos, BMC 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now I've got 4 on VHS and 1 on my computer. I'm not sure which one it is. But even watching that stuff back, it still feels very different, because it is very different to the rollerblading that I see these days, except for the later stuff, Battle My Crew 4, with people that I actually recognise and that are, I guess, still current rollerbladers, most of them, either in the scene that I'm partaking in, or are, you know, well known enough that they've stuck around and are in some kind of manufacturing aspect of rollerblading. So Battle My Crew was a community project. It was mostly the US. I know that the first Battle My Crew was all like US scene, US crews, juice suckers, etc., etc. And it felt very gangster. Do you know what I mean? So they would basically go out with their crew, and some of these crews were huge, you know, 10, 20 skaters plus. And they would go out and they would film and they would make a video. They would then submit that video to Dave Payne, and he would put together a feature-length video, I believe, of all the submissions from all the different crews that took part. Now, I believe the crews that took part in the original Battle My Crew series contributed financially, or contributed in some way aside from the, you know, compiled video at the end of it. So there was prizes, there was money up for grabs, that was, you know, incentive for people to go out and film. So they would basically have, I guess, the rollerblading community vote on their favourite section, on the section that best showed, rollerblading, I guess. And he did 4 of those. That's insane, and the work that must have gone into making them, organising all the different crews and keeping everything managed and doing it all, like, that's crazy. I think just to be able to even put it all together and just to manage it all must have been insane. The tricks that went down, the style of the video editing was all very gangster for a while, and it was very cool. It's very cool. I'm going to leave links in the description for you all to check out some Battle My Crew footage. I've got a bit of a playlist going on myself. I'll see if I can link that. But watch some of it. It's weird because although it's old, it still feels so relevant. Do you know what I mean? It still feels so relevant. But for the 5th installment of Battle My Crew, it didn't quite go to plan. I think in 2015, Dave and someone else, I've forgotten his name, I apologise. They tried to kickstart Battle My Crew, I guess. They put a Facebook page together and a website for it and put out, a little press release, and they kept updating it, and people were filming for it. People were out getting clips for the Battle My Crew. There was money being put into it from the crews and from sponsors. So they were well on the way to getting Battle My Crew 5 together, and sort of rekindling VG, I guess. However, life, as always, as I'm sure you all know, got in the way, and all the money was refunded and the project cancelled. There's been no word since from Dave about it, although he has touched on it in a couple of podcasts, 2 podcasts, I think. I'm not sure who they were with though, possibly Truespin or Rob, I'm not sure. Anyway, so that's it. Is it? So here at Blading Culture, we are now working in collaboration with the UKBC, which is the UK blading community, to run a project together. So the project is conveniently titled UKBMC. So it's a UK Battle My Crew, and you're all taking part. Now, I do have a press release for it ready, but as you all have all seen, we have a poster. The poster pretty much says it all, in my opinion. Like, we managed to work something out with Stu Mason to kind of kickstart the very first idea that we had, and it worked out so well. So thank you so much, Stu Mason, for the UK Battle My Crew poster. It looks amazing. It is so funny. It's so funny. I'm half tempted to try and put it as the profile picture on the podcast just because it's worth it. So shout out, man, for that. Really appreciate the help with it. So we're running a project. It's going to be a community run project. There's a couple of us involved, myself here at Blading Culture, plus our patrons. Then the admin team at UKBC. So I'm a moderator on UKBC now, which is nice. I get to come in and help out with some of the stuff that they're working on. But my primary goal has to be the podcast, as Sam knows, just because it takes up a lot of my time, a lot of my time, and understandably, and I don't mind. There's been lots of talk amongst UKBC, in my opinion, from what I've seen. I've seen it a few times about the potential for something like a Battle My Crew or a trick matching competition, or we've already got the trick of the week. So we wanted something that was big. We wanted something that you could all take part in. We wanted something that you could all work for. So Battle My Crew, we're going to be running one. UK Battle My Crew, UKBMC, hashtag UKBMC. So I guess a good place to start is what we need from you. Well, actually, we just need you to go and skate. Go and film, work with your crew. You have to pick a crew. I know that some of you are in a couple of different crews. That's cool. You do what you want to do, but in order to take part, you're going to need to kind of commit to one of those crews. Specifically for the video, because it's going to be a full-length video. There's going to be a couple of crews taking part. I'm in WZA and we're going to be taking part. I've shouted out the MCR crew, see if they're in for it. So I kind of wanted to do the podcast to kind of make sure that everyone knew what we were doing and what they had to do. So if you want to take part in UK Battle My Crew, you or someone from your crew, just either message us here, messages on YouTube, whatever. You can actually directly message us on YouTube, but I don't personally recommend it. What I personally recommend you do is just shoot me an email, bladingculture@gmail.com. Just express your interest. That way we know who's up for it, what crew they're in, how many, do you know what I mean? How much, and we've got some information that we can hand out in terms of putting your video together, minimum requirements for submissions to the video. There are a couple of obvious common sense issues that we want to avoid, things like filming in portrait mode. We want to avoid that with 16:9. It's going to be I'd like it to be as high quality as possible, but it's not about that. It's about you are taking part and doing something. So to take part, all you need to do is get in touch. That's literally it. Just shoot us an email, bladingculture@gmail.com. You can message us on Facebook or Instagram or SoundCloud. Do you know what I mean? We're not difficult to get hold of. If you want to take part, just let us know who you are, what crew you're representing, and then we'll give you some more details and you can go out and smash it. The sections from each crew, we're estimating will probably be around 5 minutes, depending on crew size. But if you want to skate on your own and you're your own crew and you want to film some stuff, go for it. Nothing's stopping you. If you consider yourself a one-man crew, you consider yourself a one-man crew. But it is the UK Battle My Crew. So UK, got to be in a crew, got to pick one crew. It's pretty simple, it's pretty easy. There's nothing much to it, like I say, it's just a community video, but the point of it is for everyone to take part. I really want everyone to get involved in one way or another. Just go out and film some tricks, go out and film you skating, just go out and be a rollerblader, document it, put a section together with you and your crew, and show people what you're about, show people what you do with your rollerblades. I think it's going to be really cool, really very, very, very cool. So it's honestly, it's been a while since I've been a part of a big project, so I'm very happy to be part of the UK Battle My Crew video. Maybe we could get another one next year as well. Do you know what I mean? That's how cool this is. Anything else? Let me think. So in terms of BIC, if I don't want to go into loads of detail, there's been plenty said on BIC already, but it's nice to see that although things haven't been great with the competition and certain aspects of hosting the competition, someone's taken over. They're thinking about having a committee of rollerbladers, whether that be sponsors who take part in the event, or rollerbladers who want to go to the event and want to help out with the event. Set up a round table, do you know what I mean? A table of people that are all taking part in the competition and taking part in hosting and organising and managing it. And I think that's a smart idea. Dish out responsibilities. Do you know what I mean? Have a chair. Someone come in and be responsible. Set up someone to manage the accounts. Set up someone to take notes at meetings. It's not anything that you wouldn't see in your normal everyday today life when you're planning and organising things. Taking notes, writing stuff down, keeping track of things. A committee of people would make that easy. Doing it solo, like some do, can often lead to problems, like it has done, that are not always fixable, like they're not. So BIC would be nice. I'd like to see a BIC next year. That would be wicked. British Inline Championships is, as far as I'm concerned, the staple competition, or it should be. It's the British Inline Championships. That's a big deal as far as the UK scene is concerned, and it should be. And I think we should all take more pride in BIC. I think we should all stick together and rally together to make it work. And that's what this committee is going to do, I think. It's going to add some stability to the competition, to give it some longevity. Do you know what I mean? Every year, a committee of people gets together and organises it and plans it. Sponsors are involved with organising it and planning it, not just sending money and giving up prizes and setting up a stall. Taking part in organising it and managing it and looking after it, because it's our scene and we should all be doing what we can to look after it. Whether that be shops going, right, well, okay, fair play, we're going to have to help out a little bit more, then so be it. You know, not just handing out money, but actually getting hands dirty. The same for all sponsors and all rollerbladers and all people involved in our sports and the different subcultures. You know, take part, get involved. Even just the littlest thing is contributing to the health and well-being of our sport. Even the littlest, from a share on Facebook to a £100 donation to a rollerbladers cause. Everything is putting back in, and that's great to see. I suppose buying Solomon, I can imagine, is the only thing that's not really putting back into it. But at the same time, you're putting money in someone's pocket, and maybe they're spending that on more rollerblading stuff. Rollerbladers are good, man. We've got some good hearts, we've got some good heads, and I think Bick is going to be fine. I'm not worried about it at all now. Seeing some of the positivity that's come from the community involved in terms of all aspects of it, it's wicked. And thanks to social media, unfortunately, a lot of dirty laundry got aired, but solutions were found. So social media isn't always as bad as people make it out to be. It can help some people. Look at Rob G. Thanks to a GoFundMe website. There's a dog outside now having a bit of a meltdown. Thanks to GoFundMe and their website, got $125,000 to help with Rob G's recovery. Social media does work. You've just got to use it in a sensible way. And with rollerblading, I don't think there is a sensible way. Just use it. Share it. Instagram, in my opinion, is a lot of fun. It's really good for seeing rollerblading snippets, quick snippets of rollerbladers. I think you could basically upload a minute section at a time. You can upload up to 10 videos at a time and up to 10 1-minute videos. You know, it's an okay platform for doing video and photography, and there's a lot of rollerblading on there. So if you've not got Instagram, it might be worth looking at. There's a lot of really cool rollerblading on there, and it actually feels a little bit more intuitive to use for that kind of stuff, searching for media and photography and videos, than Facebook does. Facebook obviously is more of a tool for connecting people and not necessarily integrating yourself with what that person's up to. So social media is quite good. There's a couple of new things that have happened. Jump Street podcast with Billy O'Neill and Austin Paz. If you've not checked that out, there'll be a link in the description. I did watch the video and then I listened to the podcast again. They are on SoundCloud and they are on YouTube, I believe. Or maybe they're just on the Facebook Live. I think they're just on the Facebook and their SoundCloud. So again, go and take a look at the Jump Street podcast. It's really cool. They've done a lot of work with the video. Using different camera angles, and it all sounds great, and they talk about Rob G, and they really go into a lot of detail about the scene over there. Obviously, as much as I've enjoyed the Jump Street podcast, my knowledge of the rollerblading scene doesn't extend much further than the borders of the UK, so it's quite hard for me to feel connected, but I do love hearing the stories. And they're talking about rollerbladers that I know. I watch rollerbladers constantly, so a lot of the people that they mention in the podcast I do watch. I love how amazing some of the US rollerbladers are. Like Billy O'Neill, man. Billy O'Neill is a wise man, and he mentions John Bellino and him working together to manage some kind of medicinal weed manufacturing firm. I'm not entirely sure of the details, but big up, man. That's a cool thing to do in your spare time. But obviously he's now back. He talks a little bit about he sort of touches on his injury. I don't know if anyone's seen the old school video of Billy O'Neill and the massive gap down that stair set, and he ends up getting hit by a car because he can't slow down, breaks his ankle or his foot. He's out for a while, and then he does a recovery video for it, which is kind of cheesy but funny, and then destroys on a pair of rollerblades. Billy O'Neill's always been an idol for me. I'm a massive fan of Billy O'Neill. Just his skating is amazing. His section in charging was mind-blowing. Unbelievable. Big fan of our Billy. And Austin Paz, like his TTPs and true topsouls and stuff were always amazing. Like unbelievable style, unbelievable rollerblader. Skated for Velo for many, many years. Very wise, very creative person. He talks a lot about Rob G and the experience that they've all shared together. So Jump Street podcast, very cool. Good to see another US podcast. There's quite a few of them now. But the weird thing about the US is it's like when I think about the UK scene, I just think about the UK scene as a whole. But when I think about the scenes over in the US, the rollerblading in the US, it seems to be quite spread out. But you all are over there, aren't you? You're all in individual states. I mean, we are in a sense, but certainly not in any capacity like you are. And the rollerblading over there seems to be so varied and it differs from state to state, which is very cool. You're all skating together, and they go hard in the US, guys. They go hard. No one can say otherwise. But the UK scene is just something else. I think because I'm a Brit in general, like I love it. I love everything British. I just think I think it's more about being a northerner, I think, than anything else. Like, we're just hardy up here, aren't we? We're just hardy in Manchester. Like, we're tough, we're rough, and our rollerblading's hardcore. No, so yeah, the Jump Street podcast is cool. I also recently found a YouTuber, Brandon Drummond. Drummond. Hope I'm saying that right. I'll leave a link in the description so you can check out his YouTube. He does quick snippets, news, bits that are going on in the community. He also does a video log as well where he talks about his skates and talks about hardware, and you can see some of the stuff that he's done in his like day in his life and stuff like that. He's pretty cool. He's all right. He knows how to handle a camera. He knows how to skate, and he's pretty funny sometimes, actually. He's a bit of a laugh, so I enjoy watching his videos. So check out Brandon's stuff on YouTube. Give him a like, give him a subscribe and whatnot. Helping a rollerblader out, guys. Helping a rollerblader out. He's got a nice episode about his them skates. He's been skating them for a while now. He's got the white boot, and they do look really nice. I'm intrigued. I'm thinking about trying to get the small shell in a white. We'll see. I don't know. I'm on the fence with it. I'm kind of wanting a black shell now that I've seen them in the small shell. I honestly, now that I've seen a small boot in person, I actually think I could downsize. But they look so tiny. So tiny. I'm going to need something of a thin liner, I think. I'm going to have to maybe take a trip down to Loco Skates and try some different liners in a small shell. Jake, if you're listening, hit me up. I think we could do something. It's cool. It's really cool. Rollerblading is busy. I'm really having a great time with it. If you've not seen... What else? Something else that happened. If you've not seen it, I'll leave a link in the description, although there's no point, because if you've not got your name on it, it's too late. I didn't get my name on it because I was waiting to get paid, and unfortunately all the places filled up. But Stu Mason and True Apparel have put out a t-shirt with I support UK scene kind of thing, where they've got a outline of a skate, and then if you basically pre-ordered the t-shirt, you could have your name on the t-shirt, and it looks pretty good from what I've seen. It was cool that everyone got involved. It was cool that they vanished so quickly, but it also sucks that they vanished so quickly. Maybe they might do it again or do another one. If not, so be it. I know that it's always hard when you're making t-shirts to sell them. So to do something like a pre-order like that was smart, I think. So they'll be out soon, and those who did pre-order, I can't remember the date for it, but I think you'll have to wait a week or two, and then everyone will get the t-shirt. But congrats on that, guys. It looks really, really cool. Very, very cool. So that's it, really. That's all that's been going on. You know, Battle My Crew is sick. I wanted to make a massive episode on it, but it's just gotten to the point where every time I try, I mess it up, or dogs bark, or life gets in the way. So again, if anyone wants any more information on Battle My Crew, just send me an email, bladingculture@gmail.com. Or if you're in UKBC Facebook group, just leave a post in there, and I'll be in there, and I can give you more info if you need to. that's basically it for the minute. I have another episode planned this week, but I'm not going to tell you who it is, because that'd be a spoiler, and we don't do spoilers, do we? Do we do spoilers? No, we don't do spoilers. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in. If you do want to support this in any way, I know that you know what I mean. It's one of those, you either do or you don't. You can head on over to patreon.com/Blading Culture Podcast. And if you want to, you can make a small donation. And it's a monthly donation. You know, the minimum is fine. Every little helps, and goes in towards, currently going towards making some merch. So the money's there, and we're going to start working on that soon. And we've got some posters coming, which will be free for anyone that does contribute to the Patreon. So it's worth it. I post some stuff on there now. We're going to be posting more on there. But you do not have to take part in that aspect of the podcast. Far from it. It's only there if you want to. The podcast continues to be free and will continue to be free. Shout out to Slick's Wheel. Shout out to Pete Colquitt for the support and help with the Battle My Crew stuff. Shout out to everyone from UKBC. Shout out to Sam Hand. Shout out to Lewis Yoxall, you little bad man, making me skate a lot at the minute. It's wicked. Again, if you want to see what I've been up to. Again, my camera's broken, by the way. I literally broke it at Rampworx at a session. I don't know if anyone saw my Instagram story. We took the camera down to do a video log, and for some reason, the snatch cable broke. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to get it repaired this week, but that's already done. That's already paid for. So the camera will be coming back, and I will continue with the video logs. But if you want to check them out, again, there's a link in the description. Check us out on YouTube. All the podcasts that I guess are still relevant are now up on the YouTube. And I have an episode coming in 3 weeks' time to talk on a roll. And if you don't know what On a Roll is, it's a rollerblading game for PC, scheduled for console, PS4 and Xbox One. And I'll have more news about that soon. I'll be chatting with Yella, the developer. He's got an event planned in October in Belgium. So the game's going to be going to Belgium. If you're in Belgium around October, I think it's October the 13th to the 15th. They're at the biggest gaming event in Belgium. And he's definitely made some serious progress with the game's performance, because obviously he's got to get it on console. It needs to run smoothly. It needs to play well. So that's where his time has been at the moment. But he got in touch to, check on me, see how I'm doing. Obviously, if some of you may know, some of you may not know, I'm, I guess, a volunteer community manager in a sense. I've run a couple of community channels with the help of my honor rollers. Shout out to Sander and Byron and Steve and Daniel. You guys rock. So the game's going to be coming out soon. I can't wait. They're going to be getting an update soon, and then we're going to have a release date soon. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to be chatting with Yella and Sophie about the whole process, about every aspect of it. It's going to be a long one, I'm sure. The first episode that I did with Yella for the On a Roll podcast is a long conversation. If anyone wants to check out the On a Roll stuff, I'll leave a link in the description as always, so you can check out the other podcast, which I do run in my spare time alongside this one, but it's very slow. We've only done the 3 episodes. But that's available for anyone to listen to as well. There is some rollerblading chatter in there. Do you know what I mean? I'm a rollerblader talking about a rollerblading game. Again, if you want to check out the On a Rollers podcast, I'll leave the link in the description. Skating this week is going to be a bit slow for me, unfortunately. There's so much to do and so much to crack on with. I got some planning to do. Oh my god, it's so manic. So skating for me is going to be a little bit slow. I don't know if anyone else noticed, but the Stockport Indoor Skate Park Association Jam was supposed to be today or tomorrow, I think. But the event seems to have been cancelled on Facebook. I was supposed to message Alex Burston earlier to ask him how that went, but obviously, and then I remembered that the event got cancelled. So I don't know if it officially got cancelled or what the deal is. I don't know if they've rescheduled. Alex, if you're listening, just I'll send you a message and find out what the deal is with the SISA stuff. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm hoping that I covered most of what you need to know in terms of Battle My Crew. But again, if there's anything else you want to know, just hit me up, bladingculture@gmail.com. If you want to check out any of the other stuff, there's a link in the description for the video log. You know what I mean. You know the score, guys. You know the score. Shout out to Lade, by the way. I now got some yin yang wheels, and they are very cool. Very, very cool. So I'll leave a link in the description. Oh, no, I don't need to leave a link in the description. If you're on the SoundCloud, on the right-hand side of our bookmarks bar, our toolbar, there's actually a link for the yin yang wheels that I've had there for a few weeks now. I completely forgot about it. I remember sending Sam a message saying that I'd put it on there. But if you want to pick up the Lade wheels, the yin yang wheels, they're actually all right. They're a flat profile at first, so it was very weird to get used to. But now the wheels are very consistent. I'll give them that. They're not moving. They're not twisting. There's no slippy slidey stuff anymore. It's the 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 for the wheels now. I might try and see if they've got any bigger size wheels as well and get another set. So if you want to pick up some yin yang wheels and put something back into the community, bearing in mind that every time you buy the yin yang wheels, you're helping to support a UK competition. So that's always worth considering. There's a link in the description and a link in our links, our social links, and you can check those out. That's basically it, guys. If you again want to go skating with me, just give me a message. If you have any ideas for the podcast, just give me a message. But until then, peace.